The second individual who we interviewed had what is a newer but not new approach. It's been around for a couple of decades now, and that is a stent graft approach. So that does not involve the cutting approach to the abdomen. In general, that's done through an incision in the groin, and a device is inserted into the artery in the groin, the femoral artery, and it's fed up through the artery into the aorta, and a stent is deployed in the aneurysm, again rerouting the blood flow down the stent rather than into the aneurysm sac. So that has a number of advantages, but some disadvantages. The advantages are it can even be done under local anaesthetic. It probably is of shorter duration. Doesn't involve the full length cut in the abdomen with all the implications that would have for the patient's chest and lungs in terms of the recovery. And is a much more rapid recovery. Rather than being in hospital, say, for 7 days after the conventional operation, it may only be a matter of 3-4 days, sometimes even less. The disadvantage is that the devices require continued surveillance thereafter, because they're made of a metallic mesh that can fracture or can move. So you're tied into a series of scans over many, many years. And that's usually initially in the first year CT scans, but thereafter an ultrasound scan. The ultrasound scan being the scan that was carried out in the original diagnosis of the aneurysm.
I got an appointment through the post to do with aneurysms. So I went to Girvan Hospital, where they gave me, I thought at first it was a baby scan, and they found an aneurysm, 5.5 centimetres. Where I got an appointment to see Mr. Macmillan, he explained that there was 2 forms. I could either have the operation where they wrap the aneurysm or the stent. So after tests, like they got me on a bike, measuring my breadth, and then they decided I have this stent. Pricking the arm, a couple of hours later I was back in the ward, ready for home. But they kept me 3 days, obviously for tests and that, and everything was fine. I'm a blacksmith, and that is very heavy work, gates and railings, so I had no indication at all. My strength and anything was not compromised, so I'd have gone on until bump, I was dead. Never knew what an aneurysm was. No, you get no feeling, you're not ill, nothing. The only time you're going to know you got one if it bursts. And bursts they do. It's called the silent killer. And if I hadn't have had it, I'd be dead now. Because I was on the borderline. Because it had grown up to 6 in the short time it took them to operate. Not a lot. I think it's common sense, you know, just eat less food that puts your belly out and get fitter. Okay. So we bought an enormous great dog, and that's kept me fit. If you get the leaflet come through the post, please go and do it, because you never know. Obviously I'd been carrying that for a couple of years or longer. I don't know how long it'd been growing, but like I said, no warning. It just bursts, and it's a main artery, so you weren't going to last very long.